Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another Sarcastic Distractions, the interesting podcast for interesting people such as ourselves. And with us, as always, is the Gentleman Society of Podcasting. Of course, myself, Harvey, joined by my heterosexual life mate, David Shergold.
Hello.
And the ever-loving AJ.
Howdy doody.
And today, we are talking about new ways to move, or alternative ways to move.
New ways.
New ways, not to be confused with New Wave, which is a popular music act of the 80s.
Rocket shoes.
But yeah, just alternative modes of transportation, because how they've affected our lives greatly, and just talk about them in great detail. You know, I love my skateboards and bikes and things like that. So, yeah, Dave, why don't you kick it off?
Sure. Yeah.
About you. I know you're like a lifelong cyclist. Like you've been.
I've been pretty. I'd say cyclist. I've been pretty steady for the last 16-ish years, something like that.
Like serious, right?
I would say 10 of those years have been serious. With the original just trying to get to work. Because again, stepping back a slight bit, like I've taken city bus since I was in grade 5 because of the school I had to go to. And so growing up, like public transit, city buses were just how you got around. And to the point that, even after being 16, I didn't need a driver's license. In fact, I didn't get a driver's license until I was 36, 7, in around those time frames. So yeah, like that was one of those things that, I just never drove. It was the bus in the winter, or if I needed to, and it was biking everywhere else. That was the big thing. And especially even way back in the day, like whether I'd be young and it was mostly bussing around, I'd bike to something close, but nothing major. And then of course, as I got older, then even more and more biking to the point that, I would do like over 1,000 easily kilometers of biking a year. Just because of how.
Wow, holy.
Oh, yeah. I had many years of where I was, doing 1,500, 1,600 just because I would bike to and from work every day, basically, as long as it wasn't raining. Do not bike in rain.
Not fun.
No, it's not fun. Plus, you have the whole thing of, wet ground. Yeah, I wiped out on that a few times, have to admit. Yeah, I've done that. Those ones were my fault. I will completely take ownership. But that was always the big thing was biking and busing. And growing up with the bus, even when I was, grade 5. And of course, this is one of those lovely things I like looking back at because, could you imagine a 10-year-old taking a city bus by themselves nowadays?
No, but that was the norm when we were kids. Like that
was.
That was just what you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at AJ. Look at AJ. He's like, no.
I know. I grew up in a small town where I think we had buses. I never used them because I lived quite close to downtown. I'm trying to remember, when was the first time I ever took a bus? Oh, I don't even know, man. Like, I've been on Greyhounds.
Have you ever?
Yeah, I've been on Greyhounds and stuff.
But have you taken a city bus?
Not in London.
Oh wow.
I've taken city buses in Toronto. I've done the Toronto City, bus, rail car, subway sort of thing.
Yeah,
they're a wonderful transit system.
But we grew up near Winnipeg. I grew up near Winnipeg, and never. I mean, Winnipeg buses would probably be super fucking sketchy, man. But I can't imagine a small child taking a bus. That would just be.
Oh yeah, 10-year-old.
Like even just the thought of it kind of blows my mind. But nowadays, it's even more like now.
No. My daughter who's 12, I would not, and it's not even that a girl doesn't matter because I actually had a person, a co-classmate, and she took the bus with me. She was 10 as well, and it was perfectly normal back then. Nobody batted an eye. We got on the bus, and
But you got to remember, AJ, that was also the time when we could literally go to the store and buy cigarettes for our parents.
Yeah,
with a note. Yeah.
Well, I remember when we had to have a note before then. They didn't care, and I was like, we probably should have a note. It's like, and I remember one time, like, what? I could just pretend like I wrote the note.
I used to walk all over the place. Like we lived, we lived close to the downtown of where I grew up, and we'd walk downtown or even if our friend's house was on the other side of town was really not that far. Maybe 4 kilometers. Maybe.
Oh, yeah. Still a decent walk. So, not bad.
I mean, it's a decent walk, but when you're, 12 years old and you're with your buddies, you're not really paying attention to the effort it's taking to walk from point A to point B, right? It's just like you kind of saunter.
Just do it.
You get there when you get there.
Yeah.
Well, I walked more as a teenager. I have
for sure. Yeah, we walked all over.
Yeah, you remember that.
We would walk everywhere when we were teenagers. It was. I think we walked more than we biked or skated or anything like that for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, wow, man, what was the distance from your place when you lived on like the Bonaventure area and then Lucas?
Oh yeah.
Like that was like a 2-hour walk, man.
Oh yeah, it was a long one. Oh yeah.
Easy 2-hour walk. And we do that like daily.
Yep. Yeah, I used to remember, I'd take the bus up to school, up at the north end, go hang out, we'd have our fun, and then either I'd walk just from Shan's place, or we'd stop by your place, roll the dice to see how that worked out, and then normally I'd walk home too, but we always try.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta try, right? Exactly. Yeah, at least we were fed. Hopefully.
That's true. No, we were fed. All good stuff.
No, we were fed. Yeah, it was good. Yeah. But yeah, no, that's it. Like, I mean, it's crazy. Like, talk about like it's kind of your first. If you don't drive everywhere, walk is the thing to do. Even with public transit, you're always going to be walking, right?
Well, nowadays, with the bike and the bus, like I'll walk, but not like those days, like where I would actually, even nowadays, like the mall is maybe a 10-minute walk from where I live. Yeah. If it's sunny and pretty, I'll do it maybe.
Yeah.
If the weather's agreeable.
Yeah. If it's like perfect. Otherwise, I don't need whatever it is that's thinking I should go to the mall.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
I don't even want to walk to the corner store, man. And that's like, not that far away.
Indicative of our society, you don't even have to walk to the corner store. They now are on like the delivery apps and things, so you can just get your corner store to deliver you something for a few bucks.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Paying $3 for a small bag of chips, man. That's crazy. No. You must really want a fucking bag of chips if you're getting some 7-Eleven delivered with skip the dishes, man. Jeez.
Could you imagine being a 7-Eleven employee and be like, is this what my life's become? I'm packing orders for delivery people. Like, is this it? I used to clean out the Slurpee machines, man, but now I'm making pizza.
I remember when I was a kid coming down here, Becker's used to have video machines, right? You can rent the VHS tapes through the machine. We didn't have anything fancy like that. That blew my mind when I was a kid.
I think of those at the AMP, but now we're getting a little off topic. That's okay. AMP, there's a grocery store. How many people wanted to climb into the rolly thing just to see how that worked?
Rolly thing. I'm lost on that. I used to rollerblade a lot though.
You did
do that? Yeah. I had bikes like you guys are talking about, but I used to rollerblade a lot. And my first pair of rollerblades, my dad took the brake off. For some reason, I don't know why. I think he was
learn
one of those,
the hard way, son.
Learn how to skate kind of things, right? Like I think he bought them for me to be better at ice skating.
Oh, okay.
So he took the brake off, and we never put it back on. I used to just drag my front wheel to stop, right? Nice. And it worked. It worked quite well until one night I was going down a hill, and I guess the plastic, they were just cheap. They weren't even rollerblade brands. They were some Zeller's special sort of thing. And,
so you're lucky they even worked.
Yeah, I'm lucky they even rolled half the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, the plastic wore down where the bolt connected the wheel. And I just remember seeing my wheel going flying and sparks from the bolt because I was in the act of slowing myself down, going down a very steep hill.
Oh my.
So, yeah, that was. Then I got another pair of rollerblades and did not take the brakes off.
That's one thing I've never been able to get good at. I remember trying. Somebody else's rollerblades could not do it. I can skate, ice skate. All right, I'm no expert, but I could do that. Yeah, could not rollerblade.
It's funny. I'm the same way. Like, I can ice skate okay. I'm not like saying great, and I don't even know for how long I can do it for. Maybe 20 minutes, an hour, and I'm probably tapping out. But Like rollerblades? Nope. I don't think it lasts 5 minutes on those damn things. Like,
I could roller skate though.
Yeah.
I remember doing that as a teenager. Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, there you go. That's something I think I've tried to do, but was not successful because my brain already
Had the rollerblade.
had the rollerblading thing. Did you guys ever have scooters?
Yes.
Razor scooters? Yeah.
Now, I didn't have a razor scooter, but this is definitely, I have to assume why I'm such a fan and have grown up skateboarding now, and I'll transition to it. My mom, when I was a kid, I don't know how old I was, 8, 9, she got me this really cool, like, it wasn't like a longboard, but kind of like a long banana board, but you had like a little pole that you stuck in it, and it was like a scooter. So we rode around on that, and then eventually you're like, wow, the pole's kind of useless, and you start just doing it without the pole, and then from there. So definitely scooters are a great way to kind of transition into board sports and such. Is I guess where I'm going with that.
Board sports.
Board sports.
The oldest thing, I guess not oldest, 3-wheelers. I remember having those too when I was growing up.
Big wheels?
Yeah, the big wheel 3-wheelers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I had a Knight Rider 3-wheeler.
Oh, yeah. I think I had a He-Man one, a Castle Grayskull one.
My memory's of Batman, but I don't know if that was mine or one of my neighbors, and I just really wanted it.
So when did you get into skateboarding then, Chris, being our resident skitchboarder?
Yeah, I think I started actually skating probably 10 or 11 is when I started actually doing it. But then I stopped for pretty much most of my teen years. I think shortly before I started hanging out with Dave, I stopped for, I don't know why.
So maybe
maybe I was tired of the Walmart board, or actually we didn't really have Walmarts back then. It was like the Zellers board, or the Woolco board,
Woolworths.
Right.
Was it just a way to get from point A to point B, or did you do like the little tricky doos and
I did.
flops and whatever they call
it was
them?
more about the tricks at the time. I obviously who doesn't want just learning how to do it was great, but I mean. This was way before Tony Hawk too, which is kind of crazy to think. But I remember just seeing some things, and Back to the Future was obviously a huge influence on me. And seeing all that stuff, I was like, well, what can I do? And I fall a lot, and impress my friends with my stupidity. See, very much like I do now.
Not just boards, but
no, definitely not. Yeah. Had to amuse you today. And then I don't think I picked it back up until when we started. Dave and I started hanging out with BJ pretty much full time again when I was like 26 ish.
Yeah, somewhere around there. When you were in the apartment.
Yeah, and he had he really honestly reinvigorated my love for it. He was into longboarding, and I didn't even know that was really a thing. And then I picked that up. And I hadn't looked back. And I think I remember that he said a tweet something, and it really caught me. It was something to the effect that being on your skateboard at 6 a.m. Is just pure bliss or something. And I don't know, maybe it was high or whatever. Like, oh yeah, that sounds like a great idea. And I picked it up again. I think maybe I needed. I don't know. I didn't need long. Maybe about a month or so to ride again before I kind of re-engaged and. Haven't looked back. That's my I love skating so much that I really hope I get to do it into my 70s and 80s if that's a thing. And Tony Hawk's a huge inspiration doing it in his 50s right now. So
I will say that one of the greatest times of my life was going to New York City and just fucking skating all over the place.
Cheers, my man.
Nice.
That
all
was
over the place.
definitely
man.
an amazing fucking trip.
That's one way to see Central Park. That's for sure.
One of the worst. I would tell the story because Dave fucking loves it so much. But one of the worst alternative transportations was when I worked as ice cream.
Oh,
global
Jesus.
ice cream salesman is probably what it'd be in 2021. I'm not going to name the company, but I'm sure you know. Rhymes with Ricky Lee.
Yeah.
But, and let's just say it was not a good fit. I didn't last long. But what made that job hard is you are biking a freaking freezer around full of stuff, right? Like it's a pain in the ass. But what makes it even worse, nobody wants you on the road because you're too slow ass to be on the road. Nobody wants you on the sidewalk because you're too big to be on the sidewalk. And then taking hills and things like that, it's extremely complex. Like they don't, by the way, they don't teach you any of that in training. Like they just assume, they go through a little safety thing and then you get on your bike and go. I did so well in my 2 days. I think I made $4. I think it's probably where I paid
nice.
that time. Yeah.
My favorite thing about that is when we bumped into one another and I was joking around pretending to steal ice cream from you or the popsicle or whatever. And the bus driver pulled over and literally was going to get out and kick my butt.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I know him. It's just a joke. Don't worry.
I was like, I don't know him, officer. I don't know who he is. That was hilarious.
Oh, it was a
Trying to
good
take
one.
my drumsticks.
Oh man. Another alternative form of transportation I'm not a fan of, cross-country skiing. For all
Oh,
you that
God.
like it, good for you. I love you. That's awesome. I am not a fan.
First I've ever is I was actually hit by a truck on Richmond Street.
Whoa.
Jeez.
Now,
Holy
so in
shit.
full clarification, and I guess technically I hit the truck, but he pulled in front of me, cut me off, braked immediately, and I went right into the back of him. And he
Ooh.
drove off. He actually drove off, didn't bother doing anything, but he came back around because I think somebody else chased him down. Because basically it was a 2-lane street, and he was trying to get over even though I was technically in the other lane. Yeah, it was one of those fun things, and this happened 12 years ago.
Wow.
And, yeah, I was fine other than shaking up, and I got hit, and the bike was a little, the front tire was a little mungled, but yeah, no, it was a good time. That's my big story.
Good,
Sorry,
good times had by all. Jesus.
That's the worst
I used
bike
to have a dirt
accident I've
bike,
ever had.
and I did a
nice.
face plant off a jump coming off the dirt bike. I had a hockey helmet with no face mask, and went over this little jump in behind a school that we lived across, and I face in the dirt, teeth full of gravel and shit like that. And,
Nice.
and then Dad went to Canadian Tire and got me a bike helmet. So
Oh, nice. Yeah.
yeah, but I was 6 or 7 or something like that. I was a little. It was just this tiny little dirt bike. It wasn't even anything fancy. If I were to sit on it now, it probably wouldn't even move.
Yeah.
They talk about CCs. It was probably like half a CC. I don't know. I don't know cars. I don't know vehicles. I don't know motors.
Honestly, I can't even count how many times I have been involved in accidents on bikes and skateboards. It feels like it's just par for the course. Bikes, the old ice cream delivery thing. I got hit by 3 different vehicles in parking lots. Like they don't see you. Like,
really?
Yeah,
They don't see this big white thing
I know.
being driven by somebody going chinka 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 ching.
There's nothing more embarrassing than when they're backing into you. You're like, hey, bring, bring, bring.
I think it was 23, something like that, realizing that I don't bounce like an 18-year-old does anymore. It was a skateboard. It wasn't a longboard. It was your traditional skateboard, I guess. And I'm not super great on those, apparently. Going down a hill and you hit one little rock and your whole day's ruined. And yeah, I'm pretty sure I cracked a rib and
Oh my God.
something else. And that's the day I figured out that I'm old and I don't bounce like I used to.
One thing, let's talk about a little bit, like how often are we doing alternative modes of transportation nowadays? We obviously don't walk anymore. So it's good stuff.
Actually, I have to admit, I walk more now than what I used to do.
Yeah.
Because again, with the COVID stuff, and not having to go into work the same out, like I don't need to take the bus often. Like I've only taken it once in this past year, and that was the story I just told, basically. Otherwise, yeah, I'm just walking mostly. And again, the weather being what it is right now, it's winter, so no, I'm not biking in this cruft.
No.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Fair. How about you, AJ?
Yeah, I don't.
Ah!
Sometimes there'll be the odd time when the family will go for a walk down to the corner store or something like that. But yeah, I hung up the longboard a while ago because again I was either skating so much in New York or getting back and getting was the original brand longboard. That I picked up that it was almost like extended trucks.
Yeah.
And what I was doing is I was having to swing my leg out further than I was used to doing, right? To push the board. And that might have been what gave me the hernia in my groin there.
Damn.
So yeah, unfortunately I haven't I've messed around with it with Max once or twice and he's seemed interested, but I haven't taken any sort of journeys on it. Or the thing that gets me going, or not me going, but the thing that gets us interested in walking is Oh, for shame. Pokemon Go. The wife got me into the Pokemon Go, and yeah, there was one summer there where we probably walked.
I did the
all
same
the way
with my
around the
kids.
Western Fair, sort of thing, right? We went kind of up through the fair and then down Dundas and then back up Egerton.
Yeah, I did the same thing with my kids. I'd basically give my phone to my daughter and my son once in a while who was younger. Yeah, this is going back a couple of years. But yeah, that summer, Pokemon Go, we were outside quite often.
Yeah. And hey, I mean, it's a silly game, but you're outside breathing some fresh air, getting some form of exercise, right? So it's not like the video games that we play sitting on our comfy chairs.
Yeah. Leave it to Nintendo though, to figure out a way to get you to play video games outside and get you to exercise. I think that's kind of cool. And I mean, that game took everybody by storm. Like people still play the crap out of it. That was one of the cool things about being on our trip across the U.S. is how many people play Pokemon Go still. Like
really?
Yeah, all over the place. And what are they called? They're the hotspots, the
Pokestops.
Pokestops, yeah.
Pokestops, yeah.
So many of them, and you know right away it's just a bunch of people sitting there or standing there with their phones, and they're searching around like Pokemon Go, like and they're going into stuff that I have no understanding of because I'm not a Pokemon guy. But I was like, oh, that's cool, right on, yeah. So it gets a lot of people. Can we all agree that hiking is just another fancy form for outdoor walking? I think that's fair, right? Like that's really what hiking is.
It is. But you go to certain aspects and actually have to hike. Like I will give some credit to people who are hikers.
There are like extremists out there. Yeah,
I'm not a hiker.
If you got your pocket full of gorp, it's hiking.
If you got trail mix in your weed, it's hiking.
Yep, there you go.
Trail mix in your weed.
That's right. Yeah. So
then it's hiking.
We did a lot of hiking. Becca and I, we were in, especially BC, like elsewhere, California and stuff. But the hiking there, like it's almost like a requirement, like a rite of passage. It's like, oh, I live on the West Coast. I'm now a hiker, and then you find your trails and you go.
And like BC places like that, hiking regions in Ontario, get it. Even on the East Coast, totally makes sense. Central Canada, no, you can see everything. You don't need to hike it.
What's the point? There's no need.
Let's go hike through the wheat fields, Martha.
Well, as we start to wrap up, I mean, we all love alternative forms of transportation. What are some of the lasting notes you guys want to talk about as we're going to wind down here?
I guess for me, it's just, I'm looking forward to getting the biking going again. Like, that's the big thing. I have to admit, and get to that February, March, and everybody starts to go through. It's like, okay, I'm done with winter. I'm ready to get back on my bike. That
itching, yeah. I know, honestly, man, I miss our rides together when we used to skate and bike together. That'll be fun.
Well, again, one of my favorite remembrances of skating, even though I try periodically, my kids do more of it than me now, is I still remember. And again, can't remember the exact year, but leaving the bar, I stole your board, and I was actually doing okay, and I had taken that shirt. You get a free soccer shirt from the bar.
I was wearing it. Jersey.
Yeah, and then I wiped out on the board, and I got blood all over it.
Man, a beautiful jersey. No, that was a fun night, although it looked like it was painful, but I guess it wasn't that painful.
Well, I had enough things in me that it would.
You're able to make through. Yeah, that was a good time, actually. It's good.
That was a good one. Could not do it now. Far too old. Yeah, if I was to wipe out that like that now.
Oh, no.
You just shatter. You'd hit the ground and just pop apart like those old crash test dummies toys.
Yeah, exactly.
Dust, yeah. Well, maybe we'll get a big old ride together, and we'll document that. Throw that on our podcast. Like, come on, everybody, let's go riding together.
I will say this has inspired me to look into longboard again.
Yeah,
for sure.
I got the longboard. I'll get it out. And what I love most about this is in my head, in one of two ways, where we just have a great, wonderful experience, the three of us, or we get out there, and 5 minutes later, all three of us are on the ground in pain.
Yeah.
No, I'm done. Nope.
Back inside, be like, all right, who's pouring the beers?
Yeah.
Call my wife.
Is it broken? Does it look broken? I think it's broken. It's broken.
I can move it, but even though I can move it, I'm pretty sure it's broken the way it feels.
I'm dying, right? I'm dying.
That's what death feels like? Yeah, thank you. I too. I'm excited to just get out there. Like we just suffered. Not only have we gone through like a weird little lockdown, but we've also gone through just a intense bout of snow over the last month or so, which is just on point and on brand for London, fucking Ontario. So it'll be nice. It'll be nice when that kind of all goes away and we can kind of hit the roads and hang out and stuff and not have to rely on vehicles and buses and things. Although both are great. I actually really like that when I know a lot of cities do it, but when London allowed it so you can store your bike when you're riding the bus. I thought that was a really good.
Yeah, it was good.
Good way to show some love to those people, right? Because anyways, it's great. So we're big fans of vehicles outside of cars, which is cool. And AJ, you're gonna have to tell me more about the dirt biking. I did not even realize that was a thing of your life. I need to know more about that.
Oh yeah, it wasn't like competitive or anything like that, but yeah,
crazy.
We can chat about my dirt biking sometime.
For sure. But whatever you do, when you're watching this, get out there, try new forms of transportation, whatever they are. If you have questions about skating, biking, all the stuff we talked about, reach out to us.
Moon shoes.
Comments. Moon shoes. Yes, we need a few of those for sure. Right.
That's a throwback.
And also, just a quick message to all those that are watching. We just want to say you matter. You mean a lot to us, and we just are appreciative of you spending time with us. And make sure that you're talking with your loved ones because they care. Aside from that, I just want to say you've been distracted. Bam!
What do you say?
How's that for interesting? As always, I've been Harvey.
You got Dave Scherzel.
AJ.
And thanks for joining us, gentlemen. And until next time, have an excellent Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
No, Wednesday.